The damn spawn of Satan escaped behind the cookbooks, and I turned, now trying to explain the mallet. Breathing heavily, having just finished her run and entered the door my traitorous teammate had left open, Jennifer said, "Tell me you weren't going to bash that defenseless animal. Tell me your word means something." I said, "My word is my bond. I would never do such a thing." "Okay, actually," I said, I wasn't going to hurt it." She said, "Pike, really? We got the live traps. We talked about this." "Yeah, we had." She'd made me buy these stupid traps that capture the mouse alive so we could return it to the wild, read someone else's house, and they didn't work for shit. We might as well have put out strips of cardboard on the floor and wished for Peter Pan to show up. The damn mouse had been able to take out every bit of bait and had never been caught, and now it never would be. Knuckles picked up our mangy cat and started cooing. "Hey, Knuckles, how you been?" Yes, our beast was named after my teammate. It was supposed to embarrass him, but it backfired. The cat loved him and still hated me. Jennifer stood in the doorway and glowered at me, which of course made me feel like a heel, as she knew. I threw the mallet on the counter and said, "The mouse is a health hazard." Jennifer, a hand on her hip, shook her head and said, "Really? That's the best you can come up with?" Knuckles broke free, jumping down. Knuckles the cat, that is. Knuckles the man said, "I don't know what just happened here, but I'm pretty sure it falls in line with my prescription against teammates getting involved with each other." Jennifer smiled, held out her arms, and said, "Sorry, it's Pike's fault. He's been trying to murder that poor thing forever." Knuckles grinned and embraced her, saying, "I'd whack that little bugger in the head, too." Jennifer pulled out of the embrace, and he backpedaled, but it'd mean I don't get to be the date. Remember, I'm the sensitive one. She smiled at him, then glared at me. I said, "I can be sensitive, too, I can. But I don't look like a fashion model hippie. That's why he's the date." Which was true. Knuckles would fit in on a billboard for Abercrombie & Fitch. Flowing black hair, chiseled features, and chiseled abs. Whenever we went out, the number of women who threw themselves at him made me sick, because I knew, in his heart, he was a rodent-smashing knuckle-dragger. But he was smart enough to play it off with Jennifer, and handsome enough to pull off our assigned mission. Not that I'm saying I wasn't. The mission itself wasn't dangerous, but it was going to be fun. We were detailed to check out a meeting between some Qatari interests and a shipping magnate from Brazil. Apparently, the Brazilian wanted to start mining a rare earth element called neodymium, and was looking for investors because a deposit had been found in his country. Neodymium was something that created very, very powerful magnets, which wouldn't be a concern, except that such magnets were used in every single bit of modern technology in existence, from wind turbines to cell phones to hybrid cars. Currently, the major producer was China, which caused its own problems when they shut down production on a whim. But now, the U.S. was wondering where Qatar was going by investing in the endeavor, especially since we didn't have a mine in our own country. We were dependent on foreign supply. At the end of the day, it wasn't a traditional task force problem. We primarily dealt with terrorism. We targeted groups on the State Department's official list of foreign terrorist organizations. But our missions had been bleeding out into other areas for a couple of years because of our skill, and our ability to remain anonymous. Two things made the Beltway in Washington soil their pants when a paramilitary covert action was proposed. 1, could they do it? And 2, would it leak? On both counts, the traditional intelligence and military architecture had been beat up over the years. The CIA focused primarily on intelligence collection, didn't have the in-house talent for the intricacies of kill or capture missions, and the DoD focused primarily on overt combat operations with an enormous overhead bureaucracy, didn't have the ability to keep such missions secret. Put together, they had the expertise and the security, if they'd quit fighting amongst themselves like school kids, which is where my organization came in. Created after the terrorist attacks on 9/11, off the books for anyone looking, we'd been given the charter to take it to the terrorists, but with strict left and right limits. Now, folks in the know were broadening those limits, using us to get things done that weren't exactly within our charter. I didn't mind, because I'd argued for the blending of intel and direct action since forever. But I'd be lying if this mission didn't cause me concern. Not because of the mission, but because of the ramifications. Like